I imagined blue dots, but it was really difficult to make them blue because you said 3 and that wasn't too hard. But then you said 9 of them and I was like they were flipping between purple and blue. But then I was like, no, you got to keep them. He said blue, so do blue. You just said 100 and they were still blue. It was just a struggle with 9 because 9 is 100% purple.
Want to support the podcast? You can purchase fun and unique items like t-shirts and books at shanesbraindomain.com. Pop on over and take a look. Thank you for supporting the Discovering Your Mind podcast. Aphantasia is a condition characterized by an inability to visualize mental images in one's mind. If you have just discovered that you or someone you love has aphantasia, or if you're just fascinated by the subject in general and love learning more about it, you are in the right place. The Discovering Your Mind podcast delves into all aspects of the mind's eye, including aphantasia, hyperphantasia, and everything in between. Welcome to the Discovering Your Mind podcast, brought to you by shanesbraindomain.com. I am your host, Shane Williams, also known as Shane's Brain. And today we're talking with the one and only Aaron Adair. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I understand that you're going to attend college soon. What are you interested in studying?
Forensic science, hopefully. I'm going to try to be a crime scene investigator, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm really excited.
Right. Yeah, that sounds very interesting to me. What about other things you like to do, other hobbies and interests?
Drawing's my main one. Really, I'm a big art person. Before I decided on forensic science, I was going to be an animator, but the industry is a little iffy, a little unstable. And so I was like, maybe I should do something that'll give me a better shot.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. So like physically drawing, or is it mainly on the computer?
Both. Either of them. Yeah.
Okay.
They're both really nice.
Yeah, I resonate with that. I have a background in fine art, drawing, and my favorite medium was like oil pastel. You like that or not?
I do, but it's so difficult. Like, oh man, I can't even get into it all. I'm impressed that you're able to work with oil pastels. I've tried, and it makes me want to rip my hair out. So.
All right. And then since then, I've been a graphic designer for over 20 years. So I consider myself an artist as well in a lot of different ways. So, all right. I wasn't sure exactly where to start with you. I am really excited about this interview because we have talked about this topic on the podcast before, but this is the first time I've ever talked to somebody who actually has the experience. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But I guess my first question for you is, are you familiar with the term the mind's eye?
Vaguely. I think the first time I actually heard it was from you. So. Okay.
Just real quick, the phrase mind's eye refers to the ability to imagine or visualize something in one's mind. It suggests a mental picture or representation of an event, object, or scene that is not physically present. So based on that definition, do you feel like you have a mind's eye?
Yeah.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how vivid and detailed is it?
I don't know. I'd say maybe like a 9.
Can you tell me in what ways it resembles reality and in what ways it differs from reality?
I can remember things and like imagine things in pretty good detail and in color and stuff like that, but it feels like a little bit blurry, like it's moving and I can't quite catch my eye on it.
Okay.
But if I try hard enough, then I can get it to like chill and imagine things in detail.
All right. So today we're going to talk a bit about synesthesia, which, like I said, we've talked about before, but today we're talking with Aaron, and they actually experience synesthesia. We're going to delve in. I'm going to try and wrap my mind around it. and see if we can figure this out. But I'm excited about it. Just to start again, I'm just going to read a definition and some information about what synesthesia is so that our listeners have an idea of what we're talking about here. And then you can add to that. So synesthesia is a neurological condition where stimulating one sense automatically triggers experiences in another sense, like seeing colors when hearing music or tasting words. People with synesthesia experience these blended senses involuntarily, consistently, and often throughout their lives, leading to rich cross-sensory perceptions, enhanced memory, and sometimes challenges. But it's not a disease, and many find it enhances creativity. So I've got a little bit more information here. It talks about the common types of synesthesia out there. And just note also, synesthesia can manifest in tons of different ways. But here's some of the more common ones. Grapheme color means seeing letters or numbers in specific colors, like A is red or 3 is green. Chromathesia, sound to color, hearing sounds, music, voices, and seeing colors, shapes, or patterns. Lexical gustatory is tasting words or sounds. Auditory tactile is sounds causing specific bodily sensations like tingling. And mirror touch is feeling touched when witnessing someone else being touched. All right, so which one of those or any of those that you experience or have experienced in your life?
The first two. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them because I'm going to botch it, but the first two that you had said with words and music, or words and sounds, I guess. Or
Okay.
words, numbers, and sounds. Especially the first one. That one gets me a lot.
Okay. So if you can, I would like you to describe it. Go into as much detail as you can about specific things that you experience, what it's like, and just anything and everything you can tell us about your experience with synesthesia.
I'm probably going to use numbers and letters as my main examples because that's what happens the most. But I just hear a letter or a number and then the color just pops into my head and that's it. So 3 is red, 7 is green. 7 is always green. 8 is orange. Sometimes, I know I said that 3 is red. Sometimes it feels like light blue. I don't know why it changes, but those are the only two it switches between. 6 is yellow. Sometimes multiples of numbers are the same color while others aren't. So like multiples of 7 would also be green because 7 is green. So like 14 is green because 7 is green. And same with 29 and 49. And numbers with 7 in them generally are green, but not always. And like multiples of 5, like 5, 10, 15, 25, those are all blue just because 5 is blue. And same thing with 8 and 9. I don't know if I already said it, but 9 is purple. And sometimes words and letters have colors too. W is blue. Most of the time words that start with W are also blue. So the word is blue because it starts with a W. But as for music and sounds and stuff, it's usually patterns. Sometimes it's a mix of colors, but most of the time it's colors and patterns and scenes. There's a lot of scenes as well that just pop up when I listen to certain music. So like classical music, it could just be an association type thing, but classical music is always like a dark mansion or like a library with a lot of books and a piano or like a record player somewhere or like sometimes foresty almost. And punk music is always like green and spiky, like green and black spiky, which I feel like makes sense for punk. But jazz is oddly like blue and squiggly, but sometimes with zigzags. It depends on how exactly it feels. I think that's all that can come to mind at the moment.
Okay. I have a few questions for you. So we talked about, the mind's eye is the ability to visualize or imagine in your mind. So when you're describing these experiences, is it happening in your mind's eye or is it happening somewhere else in your body or experience?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure because it mostly is just like, I just know. I just know that 8 is orange and 7 is green. But also, it might be because I can kind of see it. Like when I picture the number, then the number is that color.
Okay.
So
where does the color and number association come from? Is it just automatic? You don't know why it's related to a certain color?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even really have to think about it that much. I think that's why it changes a little bit sometimes because it's just automatic. It doesn't actually have any association with each other.
Okay. So I think you mentioned also that shapes have colors.
Yes,
Right?
shapes do have colors. Yeah. Circles are usually red, triangles are yellow. Squares, sometimes squares change a little bit. Sometimes they're green, sometimes they're orange. Octagons are orange. I think that's because that they have 8 sides and 8 is orange. So,
okay.
Yeah, pretty sure that's why that one is orange.
So what if the real world is presenting you a different color? When I think about an octagon, I think of a stop sign, and a stop sign is red, right?
Yeah.
So even when you're looking at a red octagon, or, whether it's a number or whatever, and in real life it's a certain color, does that affect this association, or is it just, no, it's still orange?
It's different. I think it's a little different because it's what I'm actually seeing. So stop signs, when I think of a stop sign, I think red because a stop sign is red.
Right.
But when I think of just the actual shape, like an octagon, I think orange because that's just the color that octagons are.
Of course. All right. So let's talk about the music part. Now, I talk to a lot of people who can, just visualize, which I can't do at all, but I understand it enough now that there's a lot of, association with music and people who can visualize. So if, there's lyrics in a song that are telling a story, they will see the story unfolding in front of them. So when you're describing these scenes that happen with music, it sounds more like these are scenes that are tied to this type of music, no matter what's happening in the music, or is there layers? Are you visualizing on top of this knowing or these basic scenes of what jazz means and what punk means? And you know what I mean? I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is kind of like it's like a on top kind of thing. So like if there's a story going on in the song, I'll visualize the story, but the hues and colors that are going on in the story will be the same that are already in my predetermined scenes. Does that make sense? So like with jazz, then it would be like blues and squigglies going on with whatever story I'm visualizing.
I think I understand as much as I'm going to. Let's keep going with some other things and see. I want you throughout this conversation to add the synesthesia element into what's happening. So if at any time those things present themselves, I want you to talk about it and tell me about it if you can.
Okay.
Have you always had synesthesia?
I think so. I always thought it was normal, so I didn't pay attention to it until like recently. So I think so.
So until recently, you just assumed it was a normal thing and everybody was experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever come up in conversation where you said, "Oh, a triangle's yellow," and somebody's like, "What do you mean by that?" Or
it has a couple of times, but it didn't end up that way. This is part of why I thought it was normal, is because I have brought it up a couple of times and people have jokingly like went back and forth with me about it. Like, no, I think it's this color, blah, 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 whatever. And so I thought that they were seeing the color with me, but then I would later in these last few weeks or so, I went and asked those same people, and they were like, "What are you talking about? No, it's just gray." And I was like, "Why did you go back with me on that then? I was being serious."
Right. The interesting thing about this topic is, one, we're all 100% unique. Nobody's having the same experience. And two, nobody knows that. Everybody thinks we're having the same experience. I looked up the estimated percentage of how many people have synesthesia, and it said around 4% of the population, which is right around the same number as people with aphantasia.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So what do you think about that? Does that make you feel like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm individual, or does it make you think, oh no, I'm different? Like, how do you feel about it?
Oh no, I'm different. But not necessarily bad. It's just like, oh, I didn't think that it was that uncommon.
All right. Well, just for the record, I think it's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
In this episode, we will be referring to what we call the Apple graph. If you would like to view the Apple graph to play along and better understand what we're talking about, you can find it on shanesbraindomain.com in the aphantasia and beyond section. If you are unable to view the Apple graph for whatever reason, it is a graph divided into 6 sections. In the number 6 section, there is a very detailed image of a red apple. In the number 5 section, it is the same image but with less detail. Number 4 is still in color but has less detail and more basic shapes instead of detailed hues and gradients. Number 3 is the less detailed apple but in gray tones without the color. Number 2 is a simple outline of the apple. And number 1 is blank, indicating no visualization whatsoever. This is called aphantasia.
The next thing I would like you to do is visualize a red apple in your mind. And then take a look at this chart and let me know which one best represents what you saw in your mind's eye.
6.
6, okay?
So yours would be like the 1, wouldn't it? 1 or 2?
Yeah, 1 for me. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to wrap my head around synesthesia. Can you wrap your head around aphantasia?
I think maybe a little bit, because I think if I try, then I would just think what it looks like for me when I'm not thinking about anything, and that's just like a black void.
Okay. So you can do that successfully? If you try to not think of anything, you feel like you're pretty successful at that?
I think so, yeah, because it feels just like blank.
Okay.
I try hard enough. Like there's nothing there.
All right. That's cool. So I want to talk about the words we use a little bit. In our society, there's a lot of words that are common, like visualize it, imagine it, picture it, think about it. Are all of those terms and phrases synonymous to you, or do they mean different things?
They all kind of mean the same thing to me.
All right, good. I don't have to worry about that then. All right. So next thing I'd like you to do is think about a cow.
A cow?
A cow.
Okay.
A moo cow.
Okay.
All right. Is it like looking at a picture, watching a movie, seeing it in real life, or something else?
It feels like looking at a picture or like a collage.
Okay. And is it in color?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are the colors vibrant or muted?
Very vibrant. Super bright.
Okay. Is it in 2D or 3D?
2D immediately, but I can probably rotate it and go into 3D.
Okay. So you have the ability to make it 3D and rotate it and look at it from all angles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you visualized the cow, was it isolated or was there a background that came with it?
No, there was a background.
Okay. Was the image still or was there movement?
It was mostly still. There's like a little bit of movement like back and forth, so that's why it like looks a little bit blurry in a way. Like a motion effect kind of thing.
Okay. What about manipulating the image? Can you give the cow wings and make it fly?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so jealous of that.
I'm sorry.
That would be so cool. All right. Is the image more clear with your eyes open or your eyes closed?
It becomes really clear for like 0.2 seconds when I close my eyes, but then it gets super blurry and a bunch of things start mashing with it. So probably when they're open.
Okay, that's so interesting. So a lot of your visualization is blurry for some reason.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes in and out, or if you provide more effort into it, then it gets clearer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you say that you see the cow in your mind, or is it projected out in front of you?
I don't know how to answer this one. I guess in my mind. When you say projected out in front of me, do you mean like I see it in front of me? Like right here or something? Is that what you mean?
I'm not sure what I mean. This is also foreign to me. I ask the questions and then I see what people say.
Okay.
Because honestly, don't know exactly what people are experiencing or how this could even be. So just try and describe whatever's happening with you the best you can.
Okay. The way I see it is just like there's like black and then there is some kind of projector. So it's right there. So if I was like putting myself into my brain, I couldn't like look next to me and then there'd be something. There'd have to be. It's just all right in front. Does that make sense?
Sure. I've never. No, that's awesome. I've never heard anybody describe it like that, but that's why I do this. That's what I love about it. So there's a projector. You can see the image in front of you, but if you turn your head, you can't see it anymore. It's got to be.
Yeah, but it would be like in my brain. So like if I'm just like looking around, then the screen is still there because it's in the front of my brain.
Okay. No, that's cool. I like it. So just as a comparison, like when you asked me, what do I mean by that? And I honestly don't know, but it's cool to hear what different people say because one of my son's friends was picturing the cow and he put his hand up like this for the cow to stand on.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So
I think I could do that.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, that's so cool.
If I picture the one with wings that's flying, it is now pink. It's now a pink flying cow.
Okay. Why is it pink? Is this synesthesia coming in?
I think so. I think it's because he's flying, but I'm not sure. It's just flying cow is now pink.
Okay. So with synesthesia, it said in that definition that it's pretty consistent. Mm-hmm. So when you think of a flying cow, is it always pink? Can you change it? Can you make it purple?
I mean, I can, but that's not what it automatically is. Yeah.
Okay. Does that feel wrong?
It does. It really does. I kind of don't like it.
Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're starting to figure this out a little bit. I like it. Okay. So in your regular synesthesia stuff, what is usually pink? Like, is there a number or a letter or a shape that's usually pink?
Not really. Pink is a color that doesn't come by my brain very often, which is interesting.
Okay. So flying cow is uniquely pink.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This cow in your mind, is it solid or transparent?
Solid.
Okay. If it made a sound, could you hear it in your mind?
It sounds like a cartoony moo, like not like an actual sound that cows make, you know?
Okay. What about, can you touch the cow in your mind? You said it could stand on your hand. Could you feel that? Can you like pet it and feel it?
No, he's just there. I think if I went into my brain and tried to touch it, it would just be too far to get to. But I can imagine things in my hands, but I can't feel them.
What do you mean too far?
I keep almost trying to be like, well, just imagine it like this, but you can't. But if I was running towards it and it was just running away from me at the same pace, so it would just be like, woo, that kind of thing.
Okay. But why is it doing that? Why don't you say, all right, cow, stand still so I can get to you?
I have no idea. Wait, maybe I can do that. No, I don't think I can. Can you dream? Do you dream?
I do dream.
Oh, well, it would be like running in a
But
dream.
but I don't dream like everyone else.
Okay, well,
And neither do you, honestly.
yeah,
There is no box
yeah.
when it comes to this stuff.
I don't know. It feels like running in a dream. You just like you're running towards it, but it's just running away from you the whole time. I just can't catch up to it, even if
Okay.
I told it to stay still.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay. What about smell? If you're imagining out on the farm with the cow, can you kind of smell those farm smells?
A little bit. It's pretty faint, but a little. Yeah.
All right. Now imagine that the cow has got the Burger King treatment. Can you taste it in your mind?
A little. It's also faint, but yeah, a little.
Okay. All right. I hate to do that to your pink flying cow.
I know. Poor baby.
Okay. The next thing I would like you to do is don't think of a pink elephant.
I'm thinking of a pink elephant.
All right. So is that pretty typical for you? Just the automatic of it. If somebody says something, you're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with the other senses, is that the same case? Like when I first said cow, did you automatically hear the cow?
Mm-hmm.
Did you automatically smell the cow? Is that kind of automatic as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spread laughter all around with funny and witty t-shirts from Shane's Brain. Check out fan favorites like Once in a Blue Moon, Tired of Laundry, and the Ramalama Ding Dong shirts, all on shanesbraindomain.com.
So now I want you to imagine 3 blue dots. Okay. Now imagine 9 blue dots.
Okay.
Now imagine 100 blue dots.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, I'm not counting all that to make sure that it's 100 of them.
Okay. Now imagine 1,000 blue dots.
Oh, Jesus. Well, it just turned into a ball pit. So.
Okay. Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Anything else that you can describe about what was happening in your mind when I was asking you to do that? And the other thing I'm curious about with this one is the synesthesia, because I asked you to imagine a specific color. I don't know. Did that play a role? Talk me through it.
I mean, I imagined blue dots, but it was really difficult to make them blue because you said 3 and that wasn't too hard. But then you said 9 of them and I was like they were flipping between purple and blue. But then I was like, no, you got to keep them. He said blue, so do blue. You just said 100 and they were still blue. It was just a struggle with 9 because 9 is 100% purple. And so I was like, how am I going to, crap.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, I don't know if this counts. I don't think it does, but I have subtitles in my head. So when people talk to me, then I just see subtitles going by so I can read what they're saying and understand it better.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting. Beyond the subtitles things, would you say that you visualize in words? Like, for example, a friend of my daughter, when we were talking about this, said that, if you say the word whale, the first thing that'll happen in his mind is he'll see the word spelled out, like W-H-A-L-E, and then it'll move on to something else. Does that kind of thing happen with you where you're saying the words a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also how I was telling my friend about this yesterday, actually, but that's how I memorize people's names. I see it in my head, and then when I'm trying to say it, I just read it out loud. And I have a hard time with people remembering the pronunciation of people's names whose names aren't phonetic. So I have a friend whose name is Blake, but it's spelled B-L-Y-K-E. And so I keep reading it and almost saying it's Blake, but it's Blake.
Okay.
Because I'm just reading it out loud.
Okay. So when you're seeing those words appear in your mind, is the synesthesia connected with it? Are you seeing them in your predetermined colors and all that? Okay.
Yeah, whale is blue because W is blue. And my friend Blake's name is red. I think because A is red. And because I keep thinking that their name is spelled Blake, but it's not. It doesn't have an A in it.
Okay.
It just sounds
All
like-
right. So what color is my name?
I think also red or green because E is green. So the green and red are fighting because A is red.
This is so cool. I'm loving this. This is fun. All right. How much of your visualization is what you choose to visualize, and how much of it is on autopilot and you're simply observing what's there?
Oh man, I think probably like 85% of it is just autopilot.
Okay. We already talked a little bit about effort. It sounds like the more effort you put into something, the more clear it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that happens with more effort?
I know I could just make things more detailed. Like with the apple, I can, if it's a nice juicy apple, then I can make like I see the water droplets go down and stuff, and I can zoom in a lot.
With the synesthesia aspect of it, if something's a certain color and you try to change that color, does that require effort?
Yeah, that's what was happening with the dots because I was struggling to make the 9 of them blue.
And do you feel like the effort was successful there, or did the synesthesia win?
It was working. It was like flickering back and forth, but I got them blue eventually.
Awesome. Okay. Can you hold your mental images for as long as you want, or are they fleeting?
I'm pretty sure they're kind of fleeting. If it's like a more complicated and detailed thing, then it's more fleeting. But if it's kind of simple, then I can hold it for a little bit, but not for as long as I want. It's just like a duration kind of thing.
In general, when you close your eyes, what do you see?
If I'm not thinking about anything particular, it's just a bunch of colors and shapes just blending and merging together and like dancing like woo.
Does that change depending on your mood?
A bit, yeah.
In what way?
If I'm like not as calm, if I'm more like pent up or like super energetic, then there'll be more like sharp shapes and stuff, and it won't be as like flowy.
Okay. So you said you can, for lack of a better term, turn your visualization off if you choose to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that easy to do?
Relatively, I guess. It takes a minute, but yeah, it's not difficult necessarily.
Okay. Do you tend to visualize things you've already seen before, or do you tend to create new and unique images in your mind?
When I'm awake, I picture things I've already seen, but all the things that I imagine that I haven't seen that are new things are happening in my dreams. I get a lot of art inspiration from my dreams.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to talk more about dreams here in a minute. Can you visualize to the extent that it completely takes you out of your reality?
I can do the kind of out of body feeling a bit. Like when I say I can go back into my brain and look at my projector screen in front, that's kind of what I mean.
Okay. So your mind feels like somewhere you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very cool. As a child, did you have an imaginary friend?
Mm-hmm.
So this was another thing where it always seemed like just some off the wall thing that could never actually happen, to me. And so it was one of those things that I was always puzzled about as a kid when they would talk about such a thing. So in your case, just describe what it was like.
It feels a little weird to talk about because I've actually never talked about it. His name was Xavier, by the way. I think it was a mix of both. I think it was like man, I really want a friend, but I don't have any friends, so it'd be cool to have a friend. And then he just popped up. A wisp of him popped up, and I was like, let's make something more out of this. And so I did. And then he was there, and I was like, whoa, what's up, friend? Let's play with rocks.
If you wanted to, could you reestablish this friendship right now?
Yeah, I probably could. Probably if I wanted, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like your visualization changes over the years? For example, was it more vivid or different as a child?
It wasn't as vivid when I was a kid as it is now. I think it was just a lot more blurry when I was a kid. So I thought it just kind of felt like fleeting thoughts and not like concrete images.
Okay. So that has developed over the years.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay. Very interesting. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about what I call the mind's ear, the sound, the auditory part. You say you have that a little bit. If you were to rate that one on a scale from 1 to 10, where would it rank?
Probably like a 5. It's not as much.
Okay. You feel like you have an inner monologue?
Yeah.
Can you describe what that means to you?
It's just sounds like me, but in my head. Or what I think I sound like, at least.
Okay. So again, a little bit with the words. We have different words for this as well. I hear inner monologue. I also hear inner voice or inner dialogue or sometimes even self-talk. Are those synonymous to you as well, or do some of those have different meanings?
For the most part, self-talk, I think of like a mental health thing, like about how you talk to yourself. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that doesn't fit with everything else. Self-talk is less about the action of you talking to yourself and more about how you talk to yourself. So like negative self-talk and like positive self-talk. So like inner voice, inner monologue, those are all like the action of talking in your head or like hearing your voice in your head.
Do you like kind of narrate your life, or is it more just about the audible perception of your thoughts?
It's more just like the audible perception of my thoughts.
So it is in your voice. Is it ever in someone else's voice?
Yeah.
Okay. In what settings? Like if you're imagining a conversation?
Mm-hmm. If I'm imagining a conversation, then there'll be somebody else's voice. Or if I'm remembering something that somebody else said, then it'll be in their voice. Or if I'm going back and forth with myself about something and it's not a conversation that I'm imagining, it's just like a debate with myself. One voice will be me, and then the other one will be someone or something else.
Okay. Very interesting. We talked earlier about you being able to shut off your visual elements if you choose to. What about with the audible? Can you shut that down too if you want?
Nope. Always there.
Always there. Constant. Mm-hmm. Okay. If I say the words police siren, do you automatically hear that in your head, or is that optional?
Mm-hmm. Hear it and see it. Well, I guess you can't see a siren, but I see the lights.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What does the phrase, I have a song stuck in my head, mean to you?
It means the song is playing and repeat over and over and over.
Okay. Do you hear the entire song or just snippets of it?
Just bits of it, usually. Whatever part is stuck in my head.
Does it sound very similar to the way it sounds in real life? You can hear the instruments and the voice and all that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've talked now mainly about the visual part of your mind and the audible part of your mind. And so I want to kind of mesh those in together into thoughts. Are your thoughts mostly visual, mostly verbal, or an equal mixture of the two, or something else?
I think it's kind of mixed. I guess if I'm having thoughts of just like something that's more verbal, like if I'm thinking about a conversation or something, then for the most part, I'll just think of the words, but I'll also be able to picture me and the person I'm talking to. But it's mostly just the words. But if I'm like thinking of something that doesn't need words involved, then I guess I picture the thing that it is.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
I suppose.
Would you say your thoughts are up close and personal, kind of in your face, or are they kind of distant and vague, or something else?
They're like right in the middle. It would be like sitting in the middle of a movie theater, the middle row of a movie theater. And that's like about the distance that it would be from me. So it's like kind of close, but it's not super far.
I love these descriptions. That is cool. Okay. Do your thoughts happen one at a time or many at once?
Oh, it depends what I'm thinking about, but most of the time, like 99% of the time, it's a lot at once. So.
Okay. And you just kind of have to sift through it?
Yeah.
And all right. Do you feel like you have control over your thoughts?
Not most of the time. No. Like what pops up immediately? No. But I can like
You
be
can
like,
take control if you
Yeah.
choose to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about some of these other senses real quick. You said before that the smell of the cow was there, but pretty faint. So if you could rank that one on that scale from 1 to 10.
I think it probably would depend on the smell because smells of cows is very distinctive smell. So probably that one was probably like 5 or 6. But generally smells altogether for anything would probably be like a 3 or 4.
What about when you're watching a cooking show and they're, cooking in the kitchen there? Can you smell that at all? Does those smells ever come through?
Not really. Mostly because half the time I'm watching them, I don't know what they're making.
Right.
I think it's like association thing. But if they made like pizza or something like that, then I would be able to smell it because I know what that smells like.
Would that be automatic or would it just be,
Yeah.
I choose to smell it?
No, it'd be automatic. I would just be like,
Okay.
oh.
Very cool. And then kind of the same question with taste. Is that kind of the same thing where if they're making something, you know what it tastes like, you'll go ahead and probably taste that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the scale from 1 to 10 similar to smell?
Mm-hmm.
Smell and taste kind of close there.
Mm-hmm.
Can tasting food in your mind satisfy a craving or a desire for the food, or does it just make you want it more?
It depends. Okay, we have a little bit of a joke about this in my house. It'll make me want it more for like a few more days or a couple more weeks, but then suddenly I'll be like, okay, I'm satisfied. I'm done. Thank you. Bye. I don't want it anymore.
Really? Just from the internal experience in your mind? Wow. And then we touched briefly on the touch aspect. It sounds like you didn't really have that, right? You said you can imagine something in your hands, but you don't really feel it.
No, I don't feel it.
Okay. Let me ask you just a couple other questions about that, and we'll try and nail that down a little bit better. So a lot of times in these, meditations that I'm in, a lot of times they'll say, imagine yourself on the beach, right? And they'll say, feel the breeze on your face, or put your feet in the water and feel that. Like, can you get there with any of that kind of stuff?
No, I can imagine myself on the beach, but I can't feel any of it.
But you can't feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about reading. Do you like reading? Do you like reading novels?
I do, but I don't because it makes me so tired. But I do like reading. Yeah.
Okay. So when you read a novel, is it like a movie in your mind or something else?
Yeah, usually. Or like, it's not like a super consistent movie because like there's other things going on. But yeah, it's like moving and I can see like the scenes playing out and unfolding. Okay.
So it feels like you're watching it more than you're in it?
Yeah.
How well can you visualize the characters and the surroundings?
If I had a better attention span and focus, then it would be a lot better, but I don't. So it's like, it's pretty blurry, but if I'm reading for long enough, then I can usually start getting it becomes a bit more solid.
Can you hear the sounds and the characters' voices? Like, do they have distinct voices?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any of the other senses appear in your reading at all?
No, not really. Just seeing and listening, hearing.
What about the synesthesia aspect of it? Does that show up at all when you read, and in what ways?
Sometimes, like certain names, I'll imagine certain color schemes with. And then when I'm trying to picture what they look like, then those colors will usually be on them somewhere because of their name.
Do you ever listen to audiobooks? Do you like those at all?
Mm-mm.
Is there a reason you don't like them?
You know how hard it is to keep up the subtitles the entire time? No, thanks. It's like automatic, but it gets difficult when it's like I'm trying to process something, but also trying to read them at the same time. No.
Right, because everything you hear, you read.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. I'm so glad I asked that. Let's talk about these dreams of yours. You said they're extremely vivid, extremely detailed.
Super. It really depends because I've had dreams that are a lot less blurry and more clear than what I imagine in real life. but there are also sometimes dreams where they're a lot more blurry. So I think it kind of just depends. Because I've had some dreams that feel real, like super, super real because of how detailed they were.
Are your dreams in first person or third person?
First.
Okay. And do you feel like you can experience all 5 senses in your dreams?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Even the sensation of touch?
Touch is a little weird. Kind of feels like I'm a ghost. Like I can't actually hold things, but I can. Like I will be holding something, but it feels like disconnected a little bit.
Okay.
So I can still kind of feel that it's resting on me, but I can't sit and feel what it feels like. Does that make sense? That's just, I keep saying that, but
So honestly, on some level, none of it makes any sense to me.
yeah, I
Right?
know.
But I've talked to enough people and tried to understand it enough that I can at least get to, yeah, I understand basically what you're trying to say, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So you told me that you lucid dream. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, most of the time I dream, I can just know that I'm in a dream. I usually won't change anything. I usually just like to see where it goes on its own. Unless I was really bummed about how it ended up, then I'll just switch it up a little, I guess. But that happens with almost all of my dreams, where I can just realize that I'm dreaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Have you heard the thing that you shouldn't be able to imagine new faces in dreams?
I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh, I heard somewhere that you're not, like, the people that you see in your dreams are generally supposed to be people you've seen out and about. Like, they could even just be strangers, but I've had a lot of dreams where I've just imagined completely new people and creatures too that don't exist.
Right.
That is interesting. I love that.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because you did mention that earlier that, you know, when you're visualizing, it's all pretty much based on something you've seen before, but in your dreams is where it really takes off into creating new things.
Yeah.
And you said it can be, it helps your creativity.
Yeah, it helps my art. I get a lot of inspiration from my art.
Okay. So is it along the lines of, okay, I saw this creature in my dream that nobody's ever seen before, and now I'm going to draw it? That's very cool because sometimes I talk to musicians and they'll have similar things where they'll dream they're on stage, you know, singing a song or playing a song or whatever, and then wake up and realize that song does not exist. and then they'll go and compose it. So it sounds like a very similar thing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, let's talk about memories a little bit. When you're experiencing a memory in your mind, does it ever feel like you're reliving it, like you're experiencing it all over again?
Nope. My memories are so bad.
Okay. Your memories, are those in third person or first person?
No, they're in first person. I think I have a couple that are in third person. Not sure why.
But that does happen occasionally.
Yeah, very rarely.
Okay, so how would you describe how your mind stores information?
I have no idea. It just goes someplace far, far away and then pops back up a little bit when I need to remember it. I wish that I had the inside out kind of memory thing with the orbs, but I don't.
So you mentioned earlier that you feel like your mind is a place where you can go. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, do you associate your mind with a certain area or a space, or how does it feel?
There's usually just that one projector in front of me, and so I can't like turn and see more, but I can turn and like put furniture down and stuff, and just I can build a little room for whatever I'm feeling, I guess. But just naturally, like normally not doing anything, it's just a black void that I can walk around. And then I can make it through third person. It's in third person currently at this moment.
So you're seeing yourself walk around a black void.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this black void, you said you could put furniture in it or decorate it. Like, can you make like a bunch of different rooms, different compartments, different places you can go and wander around in?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you store things that way? Could you go into a room and say, all right, I'm going to put this memory in this piece of furniture and this is where it's going to stay and it's going to be safe. And then later you can go back in there and retrieve it. Does it work like that at all?
I wish, actually, because that sounds amazing, but it doesn't, because it's not like the natural state of how it is in my brain already. And so I'll forget, like I'll put it there, I'll put it somewhere, and then I'll leave, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, okay, so what was the layout of this house? What does this place look like? I don't know.
Right. Okay. So one of the phrases we have in our society is search your mind. Does that phrase mean anything to you? Do you feel like you can search your mind?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
You talked a little bit about your art and things like that. So what is your creative process? What's going on in your head when you're creating?
I don't really know, because most of what I make comes from my dreams, so I don't actually have to put all that much effort into it. It just all is there already. And so I wake up, I write it down, and I make it, remembering what it looked like.
So you can store the images from your dreams in your mind somewhere?
Somewhere.
Okay. Did you do well in school or did you struggle?
No, I struggle a lot in school.
Okay. What about your subtitles thing? I mean, that feels like that could be a help.
Sometimes it is when the teacher is talking, yes.
But that doesn't really correlate with your memory, it sounds like. Like if you're having a vocabulary test or a spelling bee or something like that, does that ability help or come into play?
Yeah, I just start spelling it differently in my subtitles. I'm like, oh, that's how it's spelled? Okay. And then I'll just have to I'll have to try to get used to that spelling now.
Can you identify any upsides or downsides about how your mind works?
Upsides? I get really cool dreams and I love my dreams. So there's that. And I can make cool things with it. And it's just more colorful, and who doesn't like colors? That's nice. I feel like I can't think of very many downsides because it hasn't impacted me negatively, really.
Awesome. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
If you woke up tomorrow and had aphantasia, how do you think it would affect your life?
I'd probably sob. I'd probably sob so hard and never talk to anybody for the whole day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Aaron, that is pretty much it. Is there anything else that you would like to say about your experience about synesthesia that maybe I missed or glossed over that you want to put out there before we sign off?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I really enjoyed it. And I know it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but you did great. And I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, follow, and engage with us, and share it with your friends and family as we continue to explore this fascinating subject. For additional information about this episode or Shane's Brain, check out the show notes. Thanks for listening to the Discovering Your Mind podcast. You are beautifully unique.